I just found out that every Minecraft world is a staggering 60 million by 60 million blocks squared. And in real life terms, that is 1.5 times the circumference of Earth, which is absolutely beyond insane. And it means that the world I've been working on for the past 3 years in Minecraft Hardcore is nothing more than a tiny little dot on the map. So today I'm going to change that by finding a new area to start working on a brand new massive kingdom. We should add a second dot on the map. Yeah, it won't really change much, but at least we can have a ton of fun building a brand new kingdom. So let's grab some shulker boxes and find a nice location to build. And while I'm doing that, maybe consider subscribing to help me reach 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. It's free and you can always unsubscribe later on if you wish. Ooh, this place looks nice. Actually, this is pretty much perfect. And we are right next to a flower forest too. So let's go over the plan. First I want to start by building up a brand new village surrounded with a bunch of trees in the background, maybe with a windmill up on the hill, and then a small little dock down at the water's edge. Later on I also want to extend into an awesome little harbour town with lots of shops, boats and ships, and then a bunch of fields in the background. But first, I need to do some terraforming. Okay, that was honestly way more work than I planned, but as you can see, the landscape is looking pretty awesome now. And I even found a cool use for the dead brain coral, which I spent hours gathering previously. But it blends so well with the tough blocks, making it a perfect block for building walls. Anyway, with that all in place, I need to start working on some buildings. And the first thing I want to build is a warehouse of some sort, so that I can set up some temporary storage for all of my items, as the other kingdom is over 2,000 blocks away. And this cave with my current storage is quickly becoming a mess. So for this build, I want to go with bricks, which means I need a ton of clay. And of course, that means finding a lush cave. Aha, azalea tree, perfect. Aha, lush cave, finally. Okay, maybe it's a little overkill, but I'm always needing bricks, so this should keep me going for a while. Ooh, man, I should have been ready for that. Gosh, thank God I had a totem. Maybe that's the little green guy's way of telling me to get my butt out of here. So let's head back and do some crafting, as I think I've got everything I need now. Man, I really need to get some villagers with brick trades because this is incredibly slow. Like super slow. And I think I'm just going to head back to the super smelter for this one, which hopefully shouldn't take too long. And they're still smelting. Still smelting. Okay, we're almost done now. Only joking, we're not even halfway there yet. So I guess I might as well gather up some spruce logs while I'm waiting. Okay, 5 years later and I finally have everything ready to go, so let's do this. So it's still got a long way to go, but this is the style that I'm going for. Something a little bit more rundown, as the area down here is going to be an old fishing town. And over there is going to be the start of the main town, which will eventually turn to a city which will be much more built up with much nicer houses. But overall, this should give you a good idea of what I'm going for. On the outside, I did add a little market stall, but I still need to find some prismarine so that I can make it look like we have some hanging fish. But the build itself looks great and really fits into the area perfectly with what I had in mind. So if we just go inside, you can see there are some details to make it look a bit more like a warehouse with a bunch of storage. And please ignore the hole in the wall. I'm waiting until I get the next build in to figure out where the wall is going to go. Upstairs there's plenty more storage, and as you can see we've got some chains working a little crane system to help bring up the materials. But there is plenty of storage which I will be using for now, just until we get a proper system in place. That being said, the ocean is pretty close by, so let's see if we can quickly find some prismarine. Ooh, a ruined portal. Oh nice, some lodestones. I don't think I've ever found these before. And we have another one just here with another lodestone. Awesome. And some gold, don't mind if I do, and another one. Any decent loot in this ship? A map, some iron, emeralds, gold. Alright, let's get back on track and find some prismarine. Yes, an ocean temple, perfect. But I'm gonna have to make this very quick. Okay, that should do. Let's craft some walls, and if I place them on here, it should look a bit like some hanging fish. Yeah, that actually looks awesome. So next up I'm going to start working on the fisherman's house, which is going to be a pretty big house and pretty well detailed with another market stall on the outside selling fish. But this one should give us a nice bit of structure to the area to give you a bit more of an idea of what I'm kind of going for. So let's go ahead and get this one in. So I don't have an interior for this one just yet, I will get to that soon, but overall I think it is shaping up pretty nicely. Oh yeah, and I just found out that we can do this with our armor and a light trap. Like, when did Mojang add the ability to switch like that? I mean, this is such a cool and simple feature, but I've got no idea how I didn't know about this. Anyway, getting back to the build, and I'm still waiting for the trapdoors to age, which are taking ages. But the grates are slowly getting there, although I still have a bunch of them that are not aging yet. But I do want to have a mix of them at different oxidized stages, which means that I need to get some honey so that I can wax them. But that means I'm going to need to head back home to grab some. So first I'm going to clear out a few of these shulker boxes so that we can stock up on a few supplies while I'm there. Oh my gosh, these are all full. Man, those bees have been busy. Okay, that should be plenty. I'm also going to be planting some crop fields, so let's grab some seeds, carrots, potatoes, sugarcane, and I'm probably not going to need it for anything else other than dye, but let's just grab a few of these too, maybe a few pumpkins, and I don't think there's anything else that I really need in here. Maybe a stack of each colored wool so that we can make some banners and carpets. A few azalea leaves, and I definitely want to grab a bunch of the pitcher pods and torchflower seeds. And while I'm here, I might as well breed these so that I can get some of the sniffer eggs to take back to the village. And I think that should just about do it. I'll just start by waxing a few of these so that the other ones can age down to different stages. And maybe a few of the ones in here too. Man, I can't believe these trapdoors haven't even aged down at all yet. So I'm just going to leave them to oxidize in the background, and hopefully at some point they'll be down to the final stage. So while they're aging, I'm going to start working on the warehouse just here and the fisherman's house next door with another market stall on the outside. So let's get building. So next up I want to build another house with a copper roof, so I'm just gathering up what I can from this cave. And luckily there's a mine shaft down here so I can get some free rails, which will certainly come in handy. Ooh, diamonds, nice. And it looks like I'm in a slime chunk, so let's grab those slime balls. Oh, bye then. Okay, I've been down here for about an hour and a half now, so I should have plenty of copper for this build. Oh my god, that's a creeper! Man, that was close. Seriously, little pain in my butt. Luckily though, I got out before he blew anything up. Although to be honest, it might have helped cook this copper faster. I mean, man, this stuff just takes forever. Anyway, I think I want to make a little change just down here as I added this extra pathway behind the houses where I was going to add another build just at the end there. But I actually think it would look better if I just fill this area in with grass and a bunch of trees to help separate the village from the town. That way we can have the one path coming down into the village, which I think will just make it feel a lot more cozier. I mean, just imagine a collection of trees behind the buildings, maybe even a few over here to kind of close off the village. Although I will still be building another house just down here with some kind of storage building attached to the side, which I think will just make the village look more complete. So it's time to get back to work. Okay, let's take out these dudes. Uh-oh, where's my food? Okay, this is not good. Okay, hey, that should do. Let's quickly make some bread, and now I should be good. Okay, where did they go? Aha, there they are. Okay, do me a favor and, shoot your friend, buddy. Aha, thanks, dude. Anyway, I certainly can't be sticking with bread, so let's do a little fishing. Let's throw those in there. And I should have some coal. Ah, there we go. So next up I do have a little bit of a mission as Mojang have added some new items to the game, which means I need to travel into some new chunks to find the new firefly bush, wildflowers, the bush and dry grass. So this might take a while. Oh my god, is that the firefly bush? Yes, it is. And I think I have to shear these. Oh no, you don't. Awesome. And they look so cool. Oh yeah, and I forgot about the new cows. Oh, these ones look so much better than the other ones. Oh man, and I think there's another variant as well, which I think is the woolly cow. But we'll find that one a bit later. However, that does mean that my list of new mobs to add to the zoo is certainly growing, so that will be coming soon. Ooh, and some wildflowers too. Awesome. And while I'm here, I might as well grab a few vines for decorating. Okay, that's 2 down and 2 to go. So I'm not sure where I'm going to find the dry grass, but I imagine it's going to be in the desert or the mesa. Or possibly the savannah, but I doubt it. Oh man, I forgot my bed again. I really need to stop doing this. Okay, there's a sheep. Now I just need one more. Sorry buddy, but I need some wool. Oh man, I better be quick. Seriously dude, cheap shot. Okay, let's get some sleep. Okay, looks like we found some bushes, so I just need to find the last one, which is the dry grass. But these are going to be awesome for decorating with. I just hope that there's an easy way to farm them, as it's going to be a pain having to keep traveling out to find them. Anyway, next up is dry grass, so I probably need a desert. And it doesn't look like they grow on the beaches. Wow, that ruined portal is huge. Not much in terms of loot, but I will take the obsidian so that I can create a new portal for our new village. Okay, 20 obsidian, perfect. My gosh, I've been flying for thousands of blocks and no desert in sight. Surely we've got to be near one now. Ooh, cherry biome. I'm not actually sure if we have any of these, so let's quickly grab a few. Okay, it's not always the case, but usually there is a desert or mesa near a savannah, so hopefully there's one nearby. Aha, finally. Man, that took forever. And we have dry grass, but looks like I need to use shears. Oh, and it has 2 sizes too. That's cool. And while I'm here, let's grab a few of these dead bushes, as these can be nice for little tree decorations. And what do you have? Cherry sapling for 5 diamonds? Dude, you're ripping me off. No deal. Ooh, I forgot about the camels. And the second I get on and you want to rest. Like, dude, this is not how it works. Okay, time to head home, I guess. I know it's a little dark, but I had to stop because look, we got the new chickens and pigs. Oh, look at this little guy. He looks so cute. Looks so much better than the other pig. Anyway, we're about halfway home, so let's keep moving. So I'm finally back at base, and it looks like we just have to bone meal these for them to spread, so we should definitely be able to make a decent farm for them. Which means I'm going to need a ton of bone meal, so I'm going to need to head over to the mob farm so that I can get some bones. Okay, what do we have? Plenty of everything except for bones. Well, I should have guessed that would happen. So let's quickly check the old... Oh my gosh, really? So let's quickly check the old store. Oh my god. So let's quickly check the storage room, but to be honest, I don't think I'm going to have many bones. Nope, I'm going to need a lot more than that. So it looks like I'm going to need to go AFK for a while, and hopefully an hour or two should do it. Okay, it's been about 3 hours, so let's see what we have. We do have a few witches in here, so let's just take them out. Oh my god, that is not good. Oh, that was a really stupid move. I should have just stood closer and used my sword, as I think the skeleton saw me and then he tried to shoot me, shot the creeper instead, and then boom. Oh man, this is gonna be a nightmare to fix. Okay, let's quickly fly up here and turn the farm off, and let's quickly get rid of these mobs. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Seriously? Oh man, this really isn't going my way. Where do I even start? Let's quickly grab all the gunpowder, and for now that can all go into the storage system. Now we just need to see what damage has been done. Okay, it's not so bad, so let's just replace the hoppers, and a few up here, a block there, redstone torch, comparator, and then gunpowder in there with some blocks. All I need now is a repeater. There we go, and that should be the storage system side of it working, which means all I need now is some soul campfires and glass. So let's just grab some soul sand, logs, and some sand, which I'll place in here and smelt it all into glass. And all I need to do now is replace the glass and the campfires, and of course turn the farm back on, which sounds like it's working. So let's grab all the bones and finally head back to base. Well, that was a rather eventful journey, but I finally have everything I need, so let's quickly farm up a bunch of these, and that should be more than enough. So all I need now is a little bit of spruce, so let's head to the tiger forest and get chopping. Okay, that should just about do it, so now it's time for a little bit of decorating. Okay, let's quickly clear a few of these shulker boxes, as next up I want to start working on the trees in the background, which means I'm going to need a few more resources. But the buildings are mostly in place now and looking pretty good. However, the area still feels a little bit empty at the moment, and definitely in need of some greenery in the background to really bring the place to life. So let me quickly grab a bed before I forget, and now we can get to gathering those materials. And for this I'll start with the birch leaves, as we have a ton of those nearby, and I'll probably gather about 2 shulker boxes worth, as I have a crazy amount of trees that I want to build. But it is definitely going to add that much needed life to the village. And I already have a lot of birch leaves back at base, so I think this should be enough for now. So next up I need to head over to the savannah for some acacia leaves, which should give us that more vibrant green and help break up the colours in the background. Well, that should do. And I don't think I'm going to need any oak leaves, as I have more than enough of those back at base. But before I head back to the village, I should probably repair my tools. So let's jump into the end and repair them at the Enderman farm. There we go, good as new. Although I do have one more thing to repair, and that is my bow, which means I'm going to need an anvil. So let's craft some iron blocks. And I'll place that there. Now I just need a bow. So let's quickly craft a new one. Oh my gosh, 33 levels to repair it? But I don't really have much of a choice, so let's just do it. And with everything all gathered up and my tools all repaired, I think it's time for some mass tree building. So let's put those blocks to work. Well, it turned out that I needed way more leaves and diorite than I expected, so I did have to gather a little bit more in between building the trees, but they are all in now and looking pretty good, even if I do say so myself. But the village is shaping up awesome. I do love the way this is shaped up. It does look so cool, but I did go ahead and change this roof over here because the copper roof just didn't look right to me, so I think this blends in much nicer for the area. And I cannot wait to get started on the harbour just over here, which is going to be full of shops with farms below them and a bunch of boats and ships all around the area. So this one is going to be really cool when it's done. And I think at some point I do want to extend the harbour over to this side, maybe even to this little island here, and turn these into like some little industrial areas, maybe even some areas where we might have some trades. I'm also thinking of adding a bridge, bringing it all the way across to this side, and maybe another little extension on this side as well, but we'll see how it progresses. Up here on the top of the hill, I do want to add a windmill with a bunch of fields in the background, which are going to sit all the way around the edge here. In fact, this entire area at the back here, I think is just going to be full of fields, farmhouses, silos, and all that kind of stuff, just to add a bit of interest to the background. But the town down here is shaping up amazing. I absolutely love it, and I gotta say, I absolutely love these new firefly bushes and the little bushes as well. But the firefly bushes add such a nice little ambience here with all the particles. It just looks so cool. But this build down here still needs an interior, so this is probably going to be just a fisherman's house, which I will get done soon. Then we got a little market stall just on the outside selling some fish. Then we come across over here, just a few little details, some fishing nets and some little grates here, which actually we could do with aging some of these, and maybe we just coat those like that. Let's do the same with a few of these down here just to give us a few of those different colors. Then over here we've got another storage area. As you can see, there is a ton of storage in here, just really for detail. I probably will make use of it for now, but I got lots of plans for later on. This one over here again is another fisherman's house, but I think this might actually become a fish shop selling a bunch of different fish and seafood and stuff like that. So I'm going to have a little think about that one. We've also got our little boats just over there, little fisherman boats, which I think is pretty cool. And then over here we got again another storage area. This is the one that we built mainly for our storage in the first place, and we will go ahead and just maybe age a couple of these again. I think, yeah, we'll keep it like that for now. And then finally we do have this building up here, which has got a bunch of storage again over here, which I think actually looks pretty cool. Quite an interesting little storage area. And then we go up the stairs over here, and for the moment I am actually just keeping all of my items in here for storage, but I was thinking maybe this could be a little fisherman's guild. We could put a table in here where they can talk and a few details just to make the room look pretty cool. But yeah, otherwise I think this place is shaping up pretty nice so far. But I'm not gonna lie, these trees took me so long to put in, but I gotta say it was so worth it in the end. They absolutely look amazing, and they really add such a ton of life to the area. So I'm really glad that I went ahead and done that. And yeah, there is a lot of plans, and I gotta say I am so inspired for building, guys. So let me know what you want me to build next, and I'll catch you in the next one.